It is now 6:16. This is number 17. An ordinance vacating a portion of 12-foot unnamed alley from the south right-of-way line, Cliff Street southwest, to the north right-of-way line of 6th Street southwest along the portion of a 10-foot alley, Joanne Place southwest, from east right-of-way line of said 12-foot unnamed alley to be vacated to the west right-of-way line of Cecil Court southwest, approving and accepting the replot of lots 3772, 3773, 3774, 3775, 3776, 3777, 3778, 3779, 3780, 3781, 3782, 3783, 3784, 3785, 29908, 29909, and a vacated 12-foot unnamed alley and a vacated portion of 10-foot alley, Joanne Place southwest, and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Well said, Mr. Chair. Thank you. Members of council, as Member Babcock mentioned, this is a vacation of the alleys there, the vacated 10-foot alley in Joanne Place, and also another 12-foot and wide unnamed alley. This is in the 1200 block of 5th Street Southwest. The applicant here is Rich Motz. Mr. Motz intends to vacate these alleys, replat everything all together into a .901 acre parcel, and then he will develop a proper parking area, bring in an expanded area for business, and secure the property as necessary.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. What type of business does he have?
Rich Motz is a real estate gentleman. He is fixing this up. He's cleaning up the property. By all reports, he's done an incredible job cleaning the property up, and he will then market it to a viable business that can come into the city.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. We'll sign that out at 6:21.
Okay, we're going to go into finance, 621. Ordinance number 14, an ordinance amending appropriation ordinance number 55/2025, declare the same to be an emergency.
Cody Gonzalez from the clerk's office, just here, just trying to make an appropriation transfer. It's just going from our basically savings to checking. This account is generated by user fees only, so that money that's in there is no tax dollars, nothing from the general fund, it's just fee driven. The reason we do the appropriation or asking for the additional appropriation is we have a couple projects we're trying to finish up before the end of the year, so we just need to move some of that money over. So we can try to shore up a couple of those projects. Right now, that fund has been trending upward, so we feel comfortable with making the transfer.
Okay, questions? Hearing none, sign that out. Move on to ordinance number 18. We have an ordinance authorizing the mayor and director of public safety to enter into any contracts necessary with Liberty Demolition and Salvage to respond to the demolition and base removal of 1201 and 1203 East Tusk Street in an amount not to exceed $57,700 and declare the same to be an emergency.
Mr. Chairman, members of council, these properties, 1201 and 1203 East Tusk, located in Ward 4, were two blighted properties that were long-term problem properties within the area. And so we have doing a demo with Liberty Demo and Salvage for up to the amount of $57,700. We also were able to utilize the Stark County Land Bank 50/50 demo program on the project to demolish 1221 East Tusk, when that saved the city approximately $13,567. So with the East Tusk corridor, that renovations that we have going on This will enhance the area and promote economic development for future investors.
Questions?
No, I don't have a question, I just like to say thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, hearing none, no other ones, we'll sign that out. We'll move on to ordinance number 20. An ordinance amending ordinance number 262/2015 as supplemented and amended by ordinance number 145/2017 and 140/2021 to extend the tax increment financing exemptions granted for the parcels thereunder for an additional 30 years pursuant to Ohio Revised Code section 5709.51 and authorizing additional instruments, agreements, certificates, and other documents deemed necessary in connection therewith, all contingent upon a personal guarantee from Stuart Lickner or a corporate guarantee from an Industrial Realty Group and declaring the same to be an emergency. So, pertaining to this ordinance and ordinance number 21, the Hall of Fame Village has requested that the City of Canton do a few things, one being extending the TIF on the Hall of Fame Village. The second being that we allow them to enter into what's called PACE financing, and that'll be ordinance number 21 that I'll read next. PACE financing is a mechanism that allows them to assess themselves for improvements made that are classified as energy efficient, and there can be a whole host of different improvements. Both of these ordinances are crucially important for the Hall of Fame Village to, one, complete the hotel and water park, and two, without these provisions, there is a good chance that they could go bankrupt. So the need for us to pass these is high. Now I can tell you, and the mayor will speak on this shortly, that over the past 2 weeks there have been serious discussions with Hall of Fame Village as to how we can best protect the City of Canton and the taxpayers' interest in this project. The City of Canton has loaned, as all of us know, $5 million to the village for infrastructure, $3.5 million to the DoubleTree for the construction of the hotel. And if there was a bankruptcy, that money is in jeopardy. And we are doing everything that we can, and these discussions all hinge around making sure that we can have provisions and safeguards to ensure that the taxpayers are protected as much as we possibly can. These ordinances will be amended next week before the vote. There will be sister legislation that probably comes down next week that will be voted on along with this. But our focus is, one, making sure that the Hall of Fame has a chance to be successful. But even bigger than that is making sure that the commitment that the taxpayers have made to Hall of Fame is protected. And we have almost a singular focus on that. So with that being said, I'll let the mayor chime in at all.
Mr. Chairman, members of council, one thing that I decided to do is we've been negotiating with the Hall of Fame Village, and I wanted the majority leader to be in the mix with that. And John's been taking a lead role in that along with myself. But I do want to be very clear. The last thing we're trying to uncover, we're turning over every rock possible to make the city whole. And I mean that sincerely, all right? But I also want to be very, very clear that if we cannot find a way, that bankruptcy probably is going to happen. And that means the city is not, it's going to be out $8.5 million. And it's just not about the city. Even though they're city taxpayers, we all live in Stark County also, and the county's going to be out $5 to $7 million also, and a lot of other people. So what we're trying to do is, obviously, and it's probably going to be down to the wire, but it's going to be, and it's not, and it doesn't matter what my opinion is. I want to see us get that $8.5 million back, absolutely I do. Because I look at it, when we're talking about doing neighborhoods, we could do 7 neighborhoods with that $8.5 million. We could build 2 new fire stations with that $8.5 million. There's a list of stuff that we can do. But we are continuing to talk with the village and Don Taylor Woodwaldy and numerous people to try to find a path for us to get there. So,
And as those discussions continue, obviously, this will be third reading and vote next week. So there will be a full explanation of what those discussions lead to as pertains to protections for the city of Canton. Does anybody have any questions on these? Yes, Member Sacker.
This is all going to depend on how the vote goes tomorrow, correct?
So yeah, they have a shareholder vote about taking the village private. So that is something that I would say is out of our hands, and that is up to the shareholders. But yes, that's another part of
My
the
question
puzzle.
is, that would determine which way we go with this, correct?
it possibly could, Council.
Any other questions pertaining to this? Hearing none, we'll sign it out. Move on to ordinance number 21, approving an amendment to the petition for special assessments for the special energy improvement projects and an amendment to the supplemental plan for the Canton Regional Energy Special Improvement District under Chapter 1710 of the Ohio Revised Code, amending the schedule of special assessments authorized and levied under ordinance number 232/2023 for the purpose of acquiring, constructing, and improving certain public improvements in the city of Canton in cooperation with the Canton Regional Energy Special Improvement District, and approving an updated energy project cooperative agreement in connection with such improvements and special assessments, all contingent upon a personal guarantee from Stuart Bickner or a corporate guarantee from Industrial Realty Group, and declaring the same to be an emergency. This is that second ordinance that I referred to during the discussion on the past one. So with that being said, does anyone have any questions on this? Hearing none, we'll sign it out. We'll move on. Actually, that concludes finance at 6:30, and we'll go into the joint session of finance and public property capital improvement. We'll open this committee up at 6:30, called 6:31. Ordinance number 16, an ordinance amending appropriation ordinance number 55/2025 and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Mr. Chairman, members of council, most of the adjustments before you on this ordinance are related to the police and fire department contract negotiations that were passed after the final budget was approved. So that's the first part. So it is some payroll movement monies around to be able to cover the remainder of the year goals. The next appropriation change that we're asking for within this ordinance is in Fund 1156. It's the Hercules Note Fund. We have received funds from Hercules that paid off the note, and what we're trying to do here is pay off the note that we borrowed against that note. So typically that note comes due in April, and we pay interest and principal. Well, we're trying to pay that note off early this fall to save on interest costs on that note. And then the remaining funds that will be left after the payoff of that note, it'll probably be like $250,000 or somewhere around there. We'll have to then transfer that money into the general fund to be used on projects or the general fund expenditures. The next piece of this ordinance appropriates $10,000 to the workers' comp fund, just to put that fund in balance. Then we have an appropriation of $1.25 million into the healthcare fund, which will allow us to pay our current expenditures within that fund. Over the last several years, the healthcare fund costs have increased from $12 million annually in 2018 to about $18 million annually in 2023-24, and continuing that same trend in 25. So we need this. These are appropriations that we have available. We're not asking to move any monies around this ordinance is asking for $1,150,000 appropriation to the 7502 payroll clearing fund, and this was an auditor's department ask. And what this does is just shores up that payroll clearing fund for our remaining payrolls throughout the rest of this year. That's what this ordinance does.
Okay, questions on this? Hearing none, sign it out. It is 6:33. That concludes the joint session of Finance and Public Property Capital Improvement.
Six 6:34, and I'm going to call CD to order. And this is number 15 on your agenda, and it is to authorize the mayor or service director to advertise, receive bids, award, and enter into contracts for sale of city-owned real property that is no longer needed for municipal purposes and declare the same to be an emergency. And this is parcel number 285773.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, this comes from a request from a representative of the property to the south of this parcel, which is a small church. They reached out because they are interested in acquiring this parcel so that they can construct an activity center and new parking to go with the activity center. Because that does not meet the legal requirements for an economic development use, we can't just move this through the CCIC. We need to put it out to bid and advertise it for sale. So that is the reason for bringing this forward and why we went through this process. Just, again, it's not an economic development purpose, but it's a property we're not using. It's got another residence to the north. It's not a property I could imagine us having any use for anytime soon. So if this benefits the community there, then I think it's certainly worth giving them a shot at getting it.
Okay, I see Mr. Bailey standing here. What church is this, sir?
This is the Church of God in Christ in the 1100 block of Canton.
Of Gonder?
Yes.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Yes, that's in my board. All right. We will sign this out. Thank you so very much. This concludes CD. It's 6:35.
Okay, let's do personnel.
This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor or the director of public service to enter into an easement agreement with the American Electric Power to allow for a new electric service to the Tempton Gatehouse and declare the same to be an emergency. That's not personal.
That's the first reading.
I'm sorry, what's that? I'm sorry. This is ordinance authorizing the director of public services to hire an additional construction. This is authorizing the director of public service to hire an additional construction manager within the engineering department until the retirement of the current construction manager for training purposes and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Madam Chair, members of council, we were notified by our construction manager in the engineering department of his pending retirement this upcoming December. So, as stated in the communication, what we'd like to do is identify his replacement now, given the time it takes to go through the civil service hiring process. It will be several weeks before that will take place. The goal being maybe we could have 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks, best case scenario, to have the new construction manager working alongside the gentleman who's retiring, And then we're not making a classification plan change or anything here, so as soon as Mr. Henderson retires, we're right back to status quo. Happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions concerning it? All right, hearing none, this concludes personnel at 6:30.
6:38.
Okay, let's do annexation.
6:38, call annexation to order. First up is ordinance number 12, an ordinance authorizing Canton to annex territory known as the Whipple Avenue Southwest, number 1, 2024 annexation area containing approximately 1.634 acres, more or less, assigning said territory to Ward 3 of the city, zoning said territory as B6 Shopping Center District and R1A Single Family Dwelling Resident District, declaring the same to be an emergency. Mr. Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of council. As we discussed when this was making its way through council for the statement of services, this is a 1.634 acre stretch of the east half of Whipple Avenue from West Tusk to 13th Street. This is also a partner annexation with the next piece of legislation that will be a 0.0172 acre portion of land. Same thing, half of Whipple. If you remember, this is the area that's in Canton Township, needed paved. The city said we can do it, but we can't do it while it's in Canton Township. Director Hyman entered into a process of negotiating a road maintenance agreement with Canton Township and, move some things around that we otherwise were responsible for. Canton Township took that, we annexed this, and it works out for everybody, especially the residents that live along that stretch of Whipple that was in dire need of repaving.
Any questions? Concerns? All right, we'll sign that one out. Next up is number 13, ordinance authorizing Canton to annex the territory known as Whipple Avenue Southwest, number 2, 2024 annexation area containing a 0.0172 acres, more or less. I could imagine it being less. Assigning the territory to Ward 3. What's that? Strip up.
It's probably smaller than this room, Councilman. Again, it's just another portion. It was a separate piece of property, and the way that annexations had to work, we had to do them separately. So.
Any questions or concerns? All right, sign that out.
Thank you.
That concludes annexation at 6:41.
Okay, we're going to go through the agenda. Any questions on third readings? As for the second readings, we are not going to be voting on ordinances 20 or 21 tonight. Those will be next week. So we don't have any second reading votes for tonight. On first readings, we'll be voting on number 11. Any questions on first readings? Questions on communications? Member Sacco, you'll be giving the invocation tonight. So with that being said, we have a presentation this evening by Robert Ford and Dr. Brown with the Forever Children Program. So I will turn over the floor to them, and also I'd like to thank the mayor for setting this up.
So much he's passing those out. We are a mobile hygiene unit. My motto is if you're dirty, people work really hard to not see you. You can't apply for a job. You can't apply for housing. You can't maintain health and well-being. Being clean is so critical to who we are and what we have available to us. So the share of us, we travel around, we get showers, clean clothing, haircuts. We have a grief recovery specialist along with the mental health specialist. And our housing, we house 18 to 24-year-olds. We can get them in the house all 3 days. Anybody older than 24 years old, it may take a little longer, but we are working with different organizations to get them in the program. So this is something I call a caravan of love, where we just travel around and we pick up other partners. So we do the showers, but our partners offer everything else. So imagine this bus coming to an encampment offering all these services. So far we have serviced last year 904 people, and 6 are no longer homeless. So that's the kind of work we're doing. In the background has a video.
So if everybody can look to the TV, and I apologize to the audience, you'll have to turn around, but it will be on the TV back there. So everybody can turn around and look at that TV, that's where the video will be. Once we get through the technical issues.
Mr. President, while
Yeah.
they're setting that up.
Please.
So I think I can get started. program that he has up in Akron, and I think it would be a great partner for the city of Canton to partner with Robert. When we talk about our most in need, and I know, and I want to stress this, that even though the legislation was passed by council, the intent is not to criminalize, and I know some people may disagree with that. And it's not about rounding people up. But we are looking, and when I say this, and working with all the agencies that we have available, and I'm very, very grateful for them. But what else are we not utilizing? And when Robert did his presentation, a few days back, I was very moved. I think it would be a great for the city of Canton to partner with this organization. Because right now, I'm grateful that we have the resources, but what he offers is something that we've never done down in the city of Canton before. So Robert, I want to thank you for coming. I thought it was very important for him to do his presentation in front of council. And if you guys happen to have any questions, I'm sure you'd be more than be willing to answer them.
This is Dr. Brown. He's a board member.
Good evening, all.
Does anybody have any questions? Yes, absolutely. So, let's say Canton wanted to do this. How much of an investment would you need to put this together for Canton?
Well, you would have to secure a decommissioned bus, and we can help with that. And it cost us about started out low and it ended up being about $110,000 to retrofit. We have 2 full, complete restrooms in the bus, a changing area, 2 toilets, 2 showers, 2 sinks, and it costs about $110,000 to retrofit. But going forward, if we did it for Canton, we would love to. We would put 3 because we learned that we could have 3 bathrooms and a 45-foot coach.
Any other questions? Yes.
How does that work? You pull up or how do you set up for this type of?
Oh, thank you for that question. With the bus, we have a basic schedule, different locations throughout the county. We just pull that bus up. Generally, you would have to hook up to a water connection. We built our bus with a tank that carries 300 gallons because there will be times when you have a homeless encampment and there are no hookups. So we carry the water with us. We go in, we set our bus up, we have registration, and then the individuals are given a wristband, thank you. And we have what we call a caravan of love, individuals or companies and organizations around us, some providing clothing, some providing haircuts, some providing mental health information, and so it's like a one-stop shop. They come, they get their clothing, they take a shower, they put their new clothes on, and they leave. No questions asked.
Mr. President?
Yes.
So when we met with Dr. Brown and Mr. Ford, what we talked about in the homeless task force and what Mr. Ford originally contacted us was partnering with Canton to originally determine some dates and times that they could come down here, and then eventually we would, as Dr. Brown just indicated, try to find a decommissioned bus and go through that process. But we talked about partnering with them and some of our other local partners that were part of the homeless task force and seeing how it worked in Canton. What Mr. Ford shared with us is that you normally partner with Salvation Army.
Right.
And so they do things of that nature in Akron. So we wanted to see what that looked like here in Canton to see how we can move that forward.
Yes, Mr. President, also just to add to that, and the safety director is correct that, I would love to see them come down here. I think we're getting to that point. But also, could it be the possibility that we could forge relationships with, when you talk about the foundations in our community, would they be willing and interested Robert Ford, down at the start of introducing the Ralph Lee, started as the interim CEO, then how can we get to the point that we could possibly have another bus? Possibly. But it's going to be all of us working together. So, but I think the program that they offer could have an immense impact, and it's just stuff, and it's just not about this, it's just stuff that we have never done before in the city, to try to make an impact to help our most of the need them, so.
Any other questions? Yes, member Sacker.
When you look at maintenance for your bus and stuff, how is that handled? Like, I'm sure there's a lot of things you gotta keep up on when you have this bus, so how's that work is that come from all your partners? Is that how you do that?
Well, it's a very interesting question. As a matter of fact, we just experienced problems with brakes. And so we have a line item in our budget to handle maintenance. Because again, it is a decommission. Ours is a 2009 decommissioned bus. And so there are just these little things that happen. Also, we have a relationship with Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. They provide tires. And we also have a relationship, of course, with the city of Akron and the county of Summit. And they provide the water. And, we can take the bus in and have the bus cleaned out after an event day. And they are very, very supportive of us. So it's kind of, a community of individuals, businesses, organizations working together to make sure that that bus goes out when scheduled. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you guys for coming down.
I want to say something was not mentioned. We are also partnered with the Akron Police Department. That is very important because a lot of these in Canton we do go to, we have people who are afraid of police. They're not sure, how to interact with the police. So that police presence with us, they're able to talk, educate. Also, Akron's fire department is with us. So imagine you got the whole city in some kind of shape or form out there educating our unhoused community and getting them just open up and not be afraid of anything. Because we're right there with family, we're educating, we're loving, we're helping.
Just to add one more thing that, when you did your presentation at our meeting, that when you made the comment that when you set up an Akron, they try to set up on the street, they coordinate with the city of Akron to close the street down, and they happen to have a laundromat right there. So they kind of coordinate with whoever owns that laundromat. So, individuals can, actually take a shower, get a haircut, go, wash their clothes. And I think that would be, I think it's a really, really, really impactful.
And actually did a couple of locations all across Akron. We go to like Capitol Road in Akron, Old Main Street. See the bus, what I like about this moment, we travel around. So as a homeless community, travelers, we travel. And that's the great thing about what we bring.
Okay, great. Well, thank you guys for coming down. Really appreciate the presentation. Look forward to hopefully a future partnership with the city and you guys. And also, thank you to the mayor working on this. Obviously, we talked about this last week. This is a comprehensive issue that's going to take a lot of different approaches. And I think this is a testament to us looking at every possible avenue to help alleviate this issue. So, thank you so much, Mayor.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So, we are going to start the meeting here in about 7 minutes at 7 o'clock. See you guys all up here.
But that doesn't make a lot of sense.
right here. In the courthouse? Justin, in the courthouse? Huh? In the courthouse?
No, outside.
Oh, okay. Just stay on the sidewalk so you don't get in trouble. I'm just making sure.
I know better. Not only more if I did better.
Upload it every time there's a city council meeting.
microphones to vibrate with a quorum being present. The chair calls this meeting of Kansas City Council to order. Roll call vote, please, Madam Clerk.
Merrill,
Here.
Babcock.
Here.
Geovasis. Crystal Smith. Maley. Kimbrough.
Here.
Scaglione.
Here.
Chris Smith. Fisher. Cooks. Sacco. Morris. 9 present, 3 absent, Mr. President.
Leader Babcock.
Mr. President, I move we excuse President Elwood, Member Cooks, Member Maley, and Member Crystal Smith from tonight's meeting.
It's been moved and seconded to excuse President Bates Alward, Member Cooks, Member Maley, and Member Crystal Smith from this evening's meeting. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please, Madam Clerk.
Merrill.
Aye.
Babcock.
Aye.
Geovasis. Crystal Smith. Maley. Kimbrough. Scaglione.
Aye.
Chris Smith. Fisher. Cooks. Sacco. Morris. 9 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries, and President Bates Elward, members Cook, Maley, and Crystal Smith are all excused from this evening's meeting. Moving on to the invocation. Tonight's invocation will be given by Ward 8 Councilmember Rick Sacco. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Heavenly Father, as we gather here in this meeting, we humbly seek your presence. Grant us clarity of mind and vision, that we may see beyond challenges and find innovative solutions. Bless our discussion with insight and inspiration. May your light guide our decisions, leading us to prosperity and success. We offer thanks for the opportunity before us and trust in your divine guidance. Amen.
Thank you, Member Sacco. We're now under agenda corrections and changes. Leader Babcock.
Mr. President, I move we suspend Rule 22A, second reading ordinance number 12 through 21 to this evening's agenda.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to suspend Rule 22A to add second readings ordinances 12 through 21 to this evening's agenda. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please, Madam Clerk.
Merrill.
Aye.
Babcock.
Aye.
Geovasis. Kimbrough. Scaglione.
Aye.
Chris Smith. Fisher. Sacco. Morris. 9 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries, and ordinances 12 through 21 are a legal part of our agenda. We're now under public hearings, and we have no public hearings. We are under old business. Member Smith?
Yes, I know that last week the ordinance was passed and voted on, but I think that we owe the community at least how this is going to look, what's the procedure going to be with the homeless that, the majority of you all voted on last week. I feel that they deserve to know how this is going to look and how it's going to be improvised.
Mr. President, Member Smith.
Yes.
The ordinance that was passed last week is, and as I stated previously, is not to, and I want to stress this, it's not to criminalize, it's not to round people up, right? We've had the same ordinance in our Canton parks for the last 9 years. And as I stated before, we have arrested 0 individuals. But it has been in our park, an ordinance in our parks, that you just cannot camp out in our Canton parks. So when there is an encampment, it is a tool to have individuals and try to get them to the resources that they need. So having said that, when we had the homeless encampment last year down in the southwest end, which was city property, okay? That went skate park, and that actually, I believe, in your ward where that homeless encampment was. We did not go down there and just with a bulldozer and level the place or anything like that. It took 3 months of working with every agency to get individuals to the resources that they need. Working with Scott Schneider for the refuge, working with, the services, not in Canton, but in this country right now. But also working with Aaron and Julie Sparks from ICANN, we're down there, and numerous other agencies to get those individuals out. So when it got to the point where, you know, it's situations where if somebody refuses to leave and is trying to, but it's not about locking them up. We've been having conversations, and I would encourage you, if you wanted to attend some of our homeless task force meetings, or any of the council members, you guys are more than welcome to. But it's looking at every option we possibly can to get individuals that are most in need through the resources that we have available. But I'll give you an example, Member Smith. So Centennial Plaza is actually Councilman Kimbrough's ward, her ward.
Centennial Plaza.
Centennial Plaza.
Right.
It is.
So that's not the only area that we're concerned about.
No.
Okay, I know that you all keep saying about Centennial Plaza, but not to stop you, Mayor, or be disrespectful or anything, I really wish that presentation that was here tonight would have been vice versa. You know, that presentation, to me, should have been done before that vote last week. I know that you set it up, or the safety director set it up, but to me, that was the perfect presentation that should have been done before we voted. Because really, that's a lot of resource right there in just that bus alone. So that was my opinion about that.
Chris, I would just Member Smith, it wasn't possible because we didn't have the information about that till like the day after council voted. And we are currently looking at everything that we possibly can. That's why I thought it was important for them to come here tonight.
Oh, let me ask you one other question. What do we do when ICANN is full and Refuge of Hope for the homeless?
Member Smith, we will need to get to the meeting, and so what I would say is, after the meeting, please continue this conversation, and
Now, we can't just get to the meeting because you took a lot of time before, and so I want the public to know what type of answers or where y'all going with this.
So,
because I do not want us to have that on our hands about the homeless getting arrested.
Well, what I would say is to work with the mayor after the meeting. We can always report back on this. We need to use old business just to address issues that come up. This is a conversation that we could have for probably hours. So we have to get to the meeting, but I think that your questions are valid, and I know that the mayor is going to answer any of these that you have, and we can always report on this again at Old Business next week. So if we can just kind of wrap this up so we can continue with the meeting.
What we get ready to wrap up?
Just the discussion, just to kind of where we're at. Mayor, Member Smith, anything just to wrap it up so we can continue with our meeting?
I got you, Mr. Smith.
I know.
I got you.
Okay, Mayor. He wants to wrap it up. We'll wrap it up for now. But I still think that the community
have a conversation about everything that we're trying to do and every option available to members.
Okay.
Okay, so that is old business. So now we're going to move on to public speaks. We have 7 speakers this evening. Our first speaker is Nate Chester. Nate, are you here? I don't think I saw Nate. Oh. Nate, if you could give your name and address, and you have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Nate Chester IV. I live at 1103 6th Street Northeast. And I just want to take this time to talk about how the Simple Youth Program benefited me. And some of the ways it benefited me is it allowed me to make money as a youth and be able to be around my peers and also be there for kids that are younger than me and be a role model for them. communication. It also allowed me to be able to meet different people in the community and just be just be there for other people. And yeah, that's really it. And I want to thank Mr. T and everyone who made this program possible. And thank you for the opportunity to talk in front of the mayor and everyone up here.
Our next speaker is Terrence Jones. Terrence, can you come to the podium?
Terrence Jones, 1933 3rd Street, Northeast. I stand here as the CEO and founder of Simply Youth. Simply Youth is a community-based organization that provides out-of-school time activities. So we deal with kids during spring break, during the summer, and also even during the weekends at times, depending upon the calls. In particular, I want to talk today about summer employment. Summer employment is nothing like it used to be 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or even 5 years ago. And I will tell you that first I want to say that this past year, there was no funding in the county for youth employment. Kids had to get jobs by applying at local companies like everyday people do. And then from that point, after having a couple numerous meetings with the mayor and his administration, the mayor took up on the charge after asking him to be able to speak publicly. He allowed his team to allow us to have a job fair. So we provided a job fair for kids 15 through 18 to meet with employers at the city civic center. And then following that, there was funding that was already approved for our program for the summer to hire 13 and 14-year-olds. So kids that were 13 were able to make up to $1,300. Kids that were 14 were able to make up to $1,400. And through an extensive process, 357 kids applied for the jobs in 7 days. Now we know just because they applied only that they would follow through. But following that, 142 actually came for their interview. And we ended up offering opportunities for 65. This is only a snippet of the kids that we actually worked this summer, but we brought them so they could see public service in action and see what business takes place at and how decisions are made. We're proud to say that the kids completed the program and learned basic skills that we know that will help them move forward in life by being on time, by wearing their uniform every day, and following simple directions. Mayor Shear, thank you for going the extra mile, calling agencies, calling other different private organizations to support this program this summer. That's something that you did not have to do. We appreciate that. Kids use their money to help with their families, for back-to-school clothes, but more importantly, they were busy and they got employability skills. John Hyman, Sharice Freeman, Street Department, Building Department, Camp Park and Recreation, and the list goes on. We paid fire hydrants, which was our biggest task, picked up litter, and worked with our day camp. We came out tonight for no other reason but to be able to publicly tell you all thank you. We're not asking for anything but to say thank you. So we're going to have all of the 243 kids that Simply Youth served this summer in the form of a day camp or in the way of summer employment, whether it be high school and college students, they were impacted because of each of you. So on behalf of us, we will, after this, leave you, but as we close out, as we put on our shirts this summer, do the right thing the first time to win. All you need to do is show up, and to be early is to be on time. We teach those principles every day, and we're glad that we have the opportunity on that case. We say thank you. Let's give it up for City Hall.
Thank you, Terrence. Our next speaker is Keith Dofet. Keith?
I'm here to continue my favorite. I'm not even sure what I should be saying at this time. I think I've said a lot. I think I've said enough. This is the reason I'm going to call for your resignation. disrespect, it's called me a liar out here in front of people. I've never done that to you. Even though you said you gave me demolition list, I can prove that. Jason, you're a very smart guy. You're a legal guy. Why would you ask for the bank's video and audio? Why did you never ask that? You said everybody's guilty and everyone claims to be guilty or innocent. Well, you didn't want me to be innocent. Nor did your people who arrested me. A lady was definitely violated, or you know what I mean? They gave me her banking records, all of them. I walked into the bank and put my banking card in, and they gave me this lady's name, number, name, address, routing, accounting, and 3 months of her bank statements. How did that work? You were trying to set me up. And then when I told them I was going to give the paperwork to the lady, they called the cops on me. When the cops asked, why did you call the police on this guy? The lady says, he just needed to cool his jets. I was like, they charge you with all kinds of things and you throw them all out and you try to make me plead guilty to disorderly conduct. I refuse that. It's ridiculous. Jason, I'll say it again, resign or face prosecution. I got enough on you, okay, we'll see. Okay.
Thank you, Keith.
Good night,
Our next speaker is David Crescent. David, if you come to the podium, give your name and address. You'll have 3 minutes.
My name is David Crescent. I live at 626 Walnut. I guess I'm here tonight. I bring a lot of hell raising here. Tonight I want to thank the mayor for his Canton reutilization program. Because I started the Green Parade revitalization program, which would be clearing all the dirt and weeds off the cracks of the sidewalks, edging the roads and the curbs, planting grass where there is none, cleaning up trash. I've been concentrating over there by the YWCA and the Walnut Church, Martin Luther King Legacy Building, a great man. And so I want to thank Robert Watley, the COO of the YWCA, for the $600 mower he gave me to allow me to go around and help the community to comply with Ohio, or your ordinance 551, which is grass. And so I've done that. So instead of trying to hurt people, I try to help them. I also want to thank Joe Cartelli. He works for JSC Properties out of Louisville, the Coons family, for donating money for gasoline to pressure wash the sidewalk over there at 701 and the building, Martin Luther King building. So I want to thank the company, JSC Properties, for the pressure washer they supplied. I want to thank Rodney, the bishop in the church, for the grass seed and all the things that he's provided. These are all people of the community. Now I'm looking at all of you who spend money on the community. Right now I need more grass seed, need some weed killer, and I would really like a rigid weed eater. And I would like you council to get it for me, out of your own money. You're living off this city, and so would you donate like all the others that donate to you and to the city? So I request some grass seed, and I request some weed killer from you. Not your city taxes, from you, the people that spend all the money, the ones that talk about being a Christian. You ever donate it out of your own pocket? Anyway, I guess that's about it, and thank you, Mr. Mayor. You've done a great job. I've been down here for 40 years, and Rex Avenue was nothing but prostitutes and drugs. You cleaned up the streets, you ran off a lot of people. I would suggest that you get rid of some of the people like Mr. Babcock and then that been around here since 1960, wrecking the joint. You have the right to do that. I am a citizen, I'm a Christian. of my Christians.
Thank you,
I
David.
will find you at the deepest, darkest depths of the sea.
Your time is up. Thank you, David. Thank you. Okay, our next
Wait, give me 10 seconds for the word of God, you pray to him.
Sir, I'm sorry, your time is up. Your time is up, thank you. Our next speaker is Lorinda Johnson. Lorinda, if you come up to the podium, give your name and address, you have 3 minutes.
Lorinda Johnson, 4613 13th Street Northwest. I had other things prepared, but I don't know. I just love you. Thanks for asking that question. Mayor, you didn't answer the question. Chris asked a very specific question. What are you going to do? And this means when someone refuses to move, when someone refuses the resources. We heard your story about the encampment for like the 3rd or 4th time tonight, which is great. You should be proud of that. That's wonderful. But that was before the ordinance. So what happens now? You said it took months. You said it took months. What happens now? These are human beings. Maybe they don't have addresses, they don't have a ward number. But they're our responsibility, the whole community. We talked about intention. Does intention matter when the impact is loss of human dignity? Because that's what this is. No matter your intention, your vote told the people, the unhoused folks that came in here, who maybe gave up a bed that night to come and advocate for themselves, that told them you don't care. No matter your intention. I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying that's the impact. That's important. I was a high school policy debate coach for 6 years. Impacts are important. Also, I just want to say our community is awesome. So many people came together, this room was packed, there was so much support. So much support, I was so proud. So proud in this country where it's so divisive, where people are shot over differences of opinion, there were people in here of all different parties, ideologies, economic status. And we were all here in support of the same thing. And that's our unhoused friends and family members. I'm just proud of y'all. Not many people here tonight, I understand, but I felt a lot of pride. There are more and more people experiencing homelessness. There are more and more people hungry. And it really, the impact of what it felt like was profit over people. And I want to know, I know you talked to ward members, your ward members, but did any one of you personally talk to anyone experiencing homelessness? Where's their representative? Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Linda. Our next speaker is Skylar Bruce. Skylar, can you come to the podium, give your name and address? You have 3 minutes.
My name is Skylar Bruce, and I live at 2216 Bollinger Avenue Northeast. I would like to thank the 3 members of City Council who voted no on the anti-homeless camping ban last week, as well as the 3 members of City Council who publicly explained their vote. I can often appreciate the logic behind a vote that I disagree with when someone has the guts to share it. I especially appreciated Member Chris Smith's remarks, which boiled down to, I'm voting no on this, not because that is popular with the public, but because voting no is the right thing to do. And I appreciated your attempts, Chris, this evening to try to get answers for us on the remaining questions of the exact mechanism of how this ordinance works. May we all have the moral spine to do the right thing, even when it is not popular. In a city where camping out the night before the Hall of Fame Grand Parade is a tradition going back generations, it is troubling to see other types of camping, sitting and lying down, not forbidden. We We can camp for entertainment purposes, but not for practical ones. We can sit and enjoy events at Centennial Plaza only when our appearance and wallets fit with the aesthetics the organizers apparently want. We can lie down to rest our tired bodies in public for how long exactly? The amount of time I may need to rest in public is far less because I have a home to rest in. I watched a news story in which Mayor Scher opined about a recent murder of a homeless person, saying how very much he wanted to help this person and others like him, and that he had just the way to do it, which was this anti-homeless camping ban. But how this ordinance can connect people with limited services that are already maxed out, that part was left up to the imagination. One might even say it's fantasy. Hey, I love a good fantasy novel as much as the next person. A trope of fantasy storylines is the person who fancies themselves this great leader that everyone will surely follow, but who is misguided by evil advisors all along the way. This raises important questions about who is advising Mayor Scher, and do they actually care about outcomes and impact for our homeless neighbors as much as he says that he does. If the advisor's priorities are with business and wealthy interests, then the motive for this ordinance becomes clearer. A kind, useful ordinance would mandate that the bathroom facilities at 4th and Court Northwest would be open all day, all night, regardless of holidays and weather. That would benefit everyone who needs to use a bathroom downtown. I have myself been enjoying a stroll downtown at a time when many establishments are not open and I needed to use the bathroom. When that happens, I often leave and I don't return. We can keep people of all types in these lovely public spaces when bathrooms are available. Open the bathrooms, hands off the homeless.
Thank you, Skylar. Our next and last speaker is Justin Nicely. Justin, you come to the podium, give your name and address, you have 3 minutes.
Justin Nicely, 2952 Lincoln Way, West, Canton, Ohio, 44627. I'm the guy that's over here starting to talk, and the guy that's going to get pain in your ass, I'm going to be on your side. I'm also going to be that guy that's very transparent and speaks the truth to the public. I'm not going to let you lie to me. And I'm going to tell you now, first, I want to thank Mr. Giovanis. I want to thank you, Chris Smith, and Mr. Cook, if he was here. Unfortunately, he's not. Frank, I appreciate you giving the public an explanation and being transparent with them, even though that wasn't your vote. Personally, you at least explain how you effectively are a member of your ward and have to represent them, which is the truth. And that's the problem that a lot of us aren't facing here as a community and as a public, is that you guys want to keep going off this BS rhetoric and continue on with the bullcrap stigma instead of actually addressing the foundational basis of what's actually causing homelessness in the first place. It's not from my lack of damn trying to tell you, because I've been coming to you all for how long? When you guys were over at the damn Civic Center and maybe 2 people in the crowd, I was there telling you have a problem and you don't want to listen to me. And the foundational basis and issues as far as your homelessness problem is first start with this right here. Right here. You read the back of that? It's a very important aspect. The single-parent family home epidemic has reached exactly those type of proportions, epidemic proportions. And you guys aren't willing to even sit down and talk to the constituents of this city, the people, the advocates, the frontline warriors who are actually out here in the community, that I got a line of victims going around the door that you all dismissed. And this includes the help agencies that you all are so adamantly standing by and saying that they're available for us to go to. ACLU, the Urban League, the NAACP, all of them are on the rhetoric agenda, and if you don't fit the bill and meet the criteria as far as the Friends and Family Benefit Club, you get no damn help. Now, the issue is the fact that I'm begging and pleading, and I'm going to elaborate further on what Ms. Smith is doing. You guys did not use every viable resource necessary to go out of your damn way and use everything you possibly could before making that hope, even bringing it to the table to sit there and discuss on whether or not that should be criminalized. And now I'm going to heavily scrutinize Chief Gabbard to make sure that his officers are not enforcing the shit. And if he does, I'm going to publicly announce it. I'm going to find out your public interest as far as your special interest on the private donations to your substations. Because I'm pretty damn sure a lot of the local businesses have something to do with that decision-making process. And if so, I'm going to be that guy to hold them to account for that, for being heartless and soulless. I'm asking all of you here, tonight, today, put away the damn rhetoric, put away the stigma and stereotypes, put away the assumptions, and come to the table. And if you do come to the table, come to me real, because that's my agenda. You're going to put aside the religion card, the race card, the political affiliation card, creed, and how many certificates you got on the damn wall, because that all is pointless in its mood when it comes to actually addressing issues. I'm hoping you're going to have a nice night.
Thank you, Justin. That concludes public speaks. We're now under informal resolutions. We have no informal resolutions. We're in communications. Let the journal show that all communications are received as read. We're under first reading ordinances. Madam Clerk, will you begin with ordinance number 5?
An ordinance amending appropriation ordinance number 55, 2025, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Refer to finance. Number 6, an ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public safety to enter into any contracts necessary with Bertolini Trucking to respond to the demolition of 820 High Avenue Northwest in an amount not to exceed $34,200 and declaring the same to be an emergency. Refer to finance. Number 7, an ordinance authorizing the Board of Council to certify to the county auditor unpaid and delinquent charges for services performed by and or on behalf of the City of Canton Building and Code Department for board up, cleanup, demolition charges, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Refer to finance. Number 8, an ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public service to enter into professional services contract with OHM Advisors for the SS4A Safety Action Plan, GP 1426, and to enter into all contracts necessary to facilitate the project, authorizing the auditor to pay all moral obligations for related contract change orders that are otherwise approved by the Board of Control, pursuant to Canton Codified Ordinance 105.14, amending appropriation ordinance number 55, 2025, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Refer to finance and public property capital improvement. Number 9, an ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public service to enter into change order number 2 with Thayer Power and Communication in an estimated amount of $14,371.90 for the city, county fiber network project. Enter into any contracts necessary with the Board of Stark County Commissioners for their portion of the project. Authorizes the auditor to pay all moral obligations needed for this project that were a result of our agreements with Stark County or the above change order, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Refer to finance. Number 10, an ordinance authorizing the law director to raise attorney Kate Lukosevich's salary from $66,414 to $75,000, and Elise Hamilton's salary from $76,414 to $80,234, retroactive to September 6, 2025, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Refer to personnel. Number 11, an ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public service to enter into an easement agreement with American Electric Power to allow for new electric service to the Timken Gatehouse and declaring the same to be an emergency. Refer to finance and environmental and public utilities. Mr. President.
At this time, the chair will declare an in-house recess for the Finance and Environmental and Public Utilities Committee to meet in regard to Ordinance 11 on your agenda this evening. You're now in recess.
Leader, I would like to call finance.
7:40
PM. Item on the agenda is number 11. This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor and director of public service to enter an easement agreement with American Electric Power to allow for new electric service to the Timken Gatehouse and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Mr. Chairman, members of council, this is an ongoing project with the Parks Department. All we're asking for here is an easement to essentially run power from, I believe, Monument Park to the gatehouse, which is adjacent to Stadium Park for the Parks project.
Service Director, why is this before us, considering that it's the gatehouse and it's park property?
So a couple of interesting points. So this, I should say, Mr. Chair, members of council, so it's actually not park property. The gatehouse is still actually on Cleveland Clinic property. The city and parks a couple of years ago did a
lease license agreement for parks to use the property. The reason it's before you guys is because it has to cross city-owned property, namely the road and the other property, in order to get to the gatehouse, so we have to grant the easement. And working with the law department, essentially any and all property, whether it's park property or not, if we're doing a sale or an easement or whatever the case may be, it goes through a combination of the Kansas City Council must approve it because it's real property owned by the city, and it must be signed off on it by the Director of Public Service because I am the person who signs off on these things under state law. So it is. It seems silly, yes, but it's because it's the rule.
Any other comments, concerns? Okay, hearing none, we will adjourn finance. It is now 7:43 p.m.
Council's reconvening after the recess. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we suspend Rule 2280, place ordinance number 11 back on this evening's agenda.
It's been moved and seconded to suspend Rule 22A and place ordinance number 11 back on this evening's agenda. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please, Madam Clerk.
Merrill,
Aye.
Babcock,
Aye.
Geovasis, Kimbrough, Scaglione,
Aye.
Chris Smith, Fisher, Sacco, Morris. 9 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries, and ordinance number 11 is a legal part of our agenda. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we suspend the statutory rules on ordinance number 11.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to suspend the statutory rules on ordinance number 11. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please, Madam Clerk.
Merrill,
Aye.
Babcock,
Aye.
Geovasis, Kimbrough, Scaglione,
Aye.
Chris Smith, Fisher, Sacco, Morris. 9 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries. You've heard the 3 readings. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 11.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 11. Are there any remarks under this ordinance? Hearing none, roll call vote, please, Madam Clerk.
Merrill,
Aye.
Babcock,
Aye.
Geovasis, Kimbrough, Scaglione,
Aye.
Chris Smith, Fisher, Sacco, Morris. 9 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries, and ordinance number 11 has been adopted. We're now on to ordinances and formal resolutions for their second reading. Madam Clerk, will you please begin with ordinance number 12?
An ordinance authorizing Canton to annex the territory known as the Whipple Avenue Southwest Number 1, 2024 annexation area, containing approximately 1.634 acres more or less, assigning said territory to Ward 3 of the city, zoning said territory as B6 Shopping Center District and R1A Single Family Residential District, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Number 13, an ordinance authorizing Canton to annex a territory known as the Whipple Avenue Southwest Number 2, 2024 annexation area, containing approximately 0.0172 acre, more or less, assigning said territory to Ward 3 of the city, zoning said territory as R1A Single Family Residential District, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Number 14, an ordinance amending appropriations ordinance number 55, 2025, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Number 15, an ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public service to advertise, receive bids, award, and enter into contract for the sale of city-owned real property no longer needed for municipal purposes, located at Stark County Auditor Parcel Number 285773, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Number 16, an ordinance amending appropriation ordinance number 55, 2025, and declaring the same to be an emergency. 17, an ordinance vacating a portion of a 12-foot unnamed alley from the south right-of-way line of 5th Street Southwest to the north right-of-way line of 6th Street Southwest, along with a portion of a 10-foot alley, Joanne Place Southwest, from the east right-of-way line of said 12-foot unnamed alley to be vacated to the west right-of-way line of Cecil Street Southwest,
approving and accepting the replat of lots 3772, 3773, 3774, 3775, 3776, 3777, 3778, 3779, 3780, 3781, 3782, 3783, 3784, 3785, 29908, and 29909, in the vacated 12-foot unnamed alley and the vacated portion of 10-foot alley, Julian Place Southwest, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Number 18, an ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public safety to enter into any contracts necessary with Liberty Demolition and Salvage to respond to the demolition base removal of 1201, 1203 East Tuscarora Street in an amount not to exceed $57,700 and declaring the same to be an emergency. Number 19, an ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service to hire an additional construction manager within the engineering department until the retirement of the current construction manager for training purposes and declaring the same to be an emergency. Number 20, an ordinance amending ordinance number 262, 2015 as supplemented and amended by ordinance numbers 145, 2017 and 140, 2021 to extend the tax increment financing exemptions granted for the parcels thereunder for an additional 30 years pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 5709.51 and authorizing additional instruments, agreements, certificates, and other documents deemed necessary in connection therewith, all contingent upon a personal guarantee from Stuart Lickner or a corporate guarantee from Industrial Realty Group, IRG, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Number 21, approving an amendment to the petition for special assessments for special energy improvement projects and an amendment to the supplemental plan for the Canton Regional Energy Special Improvement District under Chapter 1710 of the Ohio Revised Code, amending the schedule of special assessments authorized and levied under ordinance number 232, 2023 for the purpose of acquiring, constructing, and improving certain public improvements in the city of Canton in cooperation with the Canton Regional Energy Special Improvement District, and approving an updated energy project cooperative agreement in connection with such improvements and special assessments, all contingent upon a personal guarantee from Stuart Lickner or a corporate guarantee from Industrial Realty Group, IRG, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We are now under ordinances and formal resolutions for the third final vote. Madam Clerk, will you begin with ordinance number 22?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public service to enter into an agreement to the Cooperative Economic Development Agreement with Jackson Township to reflect and ratify the shared development agreement between Jackson Township and the city of North Canton and declaring the same to be an emergency. Mr. President.
Leader Babcock.
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 22.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 22. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please, Madam Clerk.
Merrill.
Aye.
Babcock. Geovasis. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Chris Smith. Fisher. Sacco. Morris. 9 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries. Ordinance number 22 is adopted. Ordinance number 23, please.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public service to enter into all contracts listed on Exhibit A utilizing opioid settlement funds and declaring the same to be an emergency. Mr. President.
Leader Babcock.
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 23.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 23. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please, Madam Clerk.
Merrill.
Aye.
Babcock.
Aye.
Geovasis.
Aye.
Kimbrough. Scaglione. Chris Smith. Fisher. Sacco. Morris. 9 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries. Ordinance number 23 is adopted. Ordinance number 24, please.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public safety to enter into any contracts necessary with Bertolini Trucking in an amount not to exceed $54,000 to respond to the 2208 Dover Avenue Northeast demolition and declaring the same to be an emergency. Mr. President.
Leader Babcock.
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 24.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 24. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Merrill.
Aye.
Babcock.
Aye.
Geovasis. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Chris Smith. Fisher. Sacco. Morris. 9 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries. Ordinance number 24 is adopted. Ordinance number 24, please. Ordinance number 25, please.
An ordinance authorizing the clerk of council to
certified to the county auditor unpaid and delinquent charges for services performed by and/or on behalf of the City of Canton Building and Code Department for board up, cleanup, demolition charges, and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Leader Babcock.
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 25.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 25. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Merrill.
Aye.
Babcock.
Aye.
Geovasis. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Chris Smith. Fisher. Sacco. Morris. 9 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries. Ordinance number 25 is adopted. Ordinance number 26, please.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public service or their designee to accept easements granted to the city of Canton for the ownership, operation, and maintenance of a sanitary sewer crossing at Green Tree Avenue Southwest near the proposed Redwood Canton Green Tree development, and to make ministerial changes to correct property owner names, parcel numbers, and other numerical, descriptive, or typographical errors should they occur, and declaring the same to be an emergency, Mr. President.
Leader Babcock.
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 26.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 26. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please, Madam Clerk.
Merrill.
Aye.
Babcock.
Aye.
Geovasis. Kimbrough. Scaglione.
Aye.
Chris Smith. Fisher. Sacco. Morris. 9 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries. Ordinance number 26 is adopted. Ordinance number 27, please.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public service to enter into contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation State Infrastructure Loan Bank for a $10,510,000 loan, including fees for the West Tuscarawas Corridor Safety Project Phase 1, GP 1165, and declaring the same to be an emergency, Mr. President.
Leader Babcock.
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 27.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 27. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Merrill.
Aye.
Babcock.
Aye.
Geovasis. Kimbrough. Scaglione.
Aye.
Chris Smith. Fisher. Sacco. Morris. 9 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries. Ordinance number 27 is adopted. Ordinance number 28, please.
An ordinance approving a Canton City water main extension to Addison Lake Development, authorizing the mayor or director of public service to enter into any agreements necessary for the extension of said water main, and declaring the same to be an emergency, Mr. President.
Leader Babcock.
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 28.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 28. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please, Madam Clerk.
Merrill.
Aye.
Babcock.
Aye.
Geovasis. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Chris Smith. Fisher. Sacco. Morris. 9 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries. Ordinance number 28 is adopted. Ordinance number 29, please.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public service to enter into change order number 3 with Mike Coast Construction Company, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $51,811.70 for the water service shop renovation project, authorizing the auditor to pay all more obligations related to said change order and declaring the same to be an emergency, Mr. President.
Leader Babcock.
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 29.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 29. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Merrill.
Aye.
Babcock.
Aye.
Geovasis. Kimbrough. Scaglione.
Aye.
Chris Smith. Fisher. Sacco. Morris. 9 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries. Ordinance number 29 is adopted. We are now under announcement of committee meetings. Our next meeting date will be September 29th, 2025. We're going to start committee meetings at 6:30. First up would be Finance, Member Geovasis. Thank you. Public Property Capital Improvement Committee, Member Scaglione.
Up to the property capital improvement, the week, same time, same place.
Thank you. Personnel Committee, Member Kimbrough.
Personnel meet at the same time.
Thank you. We're under city announcements. Are there any city announcements?
Mr. President, I'd like to give a shout out to Blake Schilling and Wendy. We did our first ticket event downtown. They had over probably about 2,000 people that attended. All the benefit, the economic impact alone from that the hotel was sold out. Just walking around and just talking to people that evening, that there were people, there was a lady that came up from Charlotte families out there, they, you know, and they thought it worked out very well. So, now Blake did a fantastic job, he really did, so.
Thank you. Okay, we're in miscellaneous business. Is there any miscellaneous business for tonight's meeting? No? Okay. Then, leave that on.
Mr. President, I move we adjourn.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Muriel,
Aye.
Babcock, Geovasis, Kimbrough, Scaglione, Chris Smith, Fisher, Sacco, Morris. 9 yeas, Mr. President.
Meeting is adjourned.